a lot of people say, why do vegans want to eat stuff that looks like fish and meat? It's for the same reason people use dildos. Looks the same, feels the same, fills a hole, and no one gets hurt. Huh. It tasted kind of like eating a table. Hi friends, I'm Amy from Proper Tasty, and today I'm trying vegan seafood. You've probably seen Seaspiracy by now, which has reported that we catch 2.7 trillion fish every single year, in the process killing 300,000 whales and dolphins. If this rate of fishing continues, the oceans will be all out of sashimi by 2048. But before you tuna out, there are more planet-friendly alternatives available. You may say, vegan seafood? That's an oxymoron. Calamari, salmon and tuna are in fact species of the sea and therefore not vegan. And you would be correct. But these products are labelled as those things so that the consumer can get an idea of what it should look and taste like. What I'm trying today are plant-based alternatives to seafood. This is tin tuna, so obviously I've mixed it with mayo and sweet corn. It looks exactly like tuna. It doesn't smell super fishy at all, actually. It smells like fusty tent. It does remind me of my cat's breath. You know when you go to a festival and you spend 3 days in a tent and then you come home and you're so tired that you just put your tent in like the back of the car and just leave it there for 3 months. It kind of smells like that. The texture's a lot chunkier than tin tuna, more like if you were to get a tuna steak and cut it up, mixed with the mayo and seasoned with salt and pepper on a bit of toast. I think they could do something to make it a bit more flaky rather than so chewy, but all in all, this isn't a bad alternative. So this is the salmon sashimi, which is really intriguing, and it's actually got me shook how much it looks and feels like salmon. Can't quite believe that this isn't fish. This is the best looking, most convincing vegan fish I've seen. I know a lot of people say, why do vegans want to eat stuff that looks like fish and meat? It's for the same reason people use dildos. Looks the same, feels the same, fills a hole, and no one gets hurt. I'm just dipping this in a bit of soy sauce. Okay, I'm gonna try a bit without the soy sauce. Have a fair test. There's not much taste to it. You do have to just submerge it in the soy sauce for it to have a flavour. It's uncanny how similar the texture is, but it doesn't have the taste of buttery salmon sashimi. It's a great carrier of flavour, so maybe in a sushi roll with wasabi and ginger this would be good, but by itself, I'm not buying it. Good try though. I mean, you've got to have first iterations of everything. 10 out of 10 for looks, 5 out of 10 on taste. It's fun to play with though. So my first impression of this calamari is pretty astounded how much it looks like real calamari. I made a really simple tempura batter and just fried it. This literally took 3 minutes to cook. It's got the same kind of rubbery texture. I don't know if that's a good word to use because no one wants rubbery calamari, but that's kind of the only way to describe it. It's actually made of mushrooms and it's marinated in a brine. Just like I used to order in the pub a plate of calamari for your starter. I'm really excited to try this. Wow. That's amazing. Oh, that's so freakishly calamari-like. It's delicious. You'd think from a mushroom it wouldn't be packed full of this much flavour, and I do not know how they've done it. This is incredible. Wow. Even if you don't like mushrooms, I think you would like this. It's very convincingly seafood-like. So originally looking at this in a can, I was like, mushrooms in a can, ew, that's gross, but I take it back. I'm gonna recommend this to everyone I know. It's incredible. By choosing this over real calamari, you're not sacrificing anything. It's got the taste, it's got the texture. I love it. It's a 10 out of 10 from me. This is called a sea cake and it looks like a fish cake, so that's kind of the taste I'm expecting. It's made of tofu marinated in nigari and tamari. It smells fishy, kind of salmon-y. So I'm gonna cut it open and have a look what the inside texture is like. It's clearly tofu. There's no mistaking that. It doesn't have the flaky look of a fish cake or the potato-y look, but the smell of the sea is unmistakable. Can't really taste it. Yep, that's tofu. The smell is fishier than the taste. I think it's kind of bland. This could be more sea flavoured. I'm not really a fan. I wanted more of a fish alternative rather than a tofu cake. I definitely wouldn't buy that again. It's a shame, so much potential. It tasted kind of like eating a table. Next! So this one is a fish style steak. I think it's supposed to be quite similar to like a battered cod because it's got the white flesh and a breadcrumb coating. The first thing that struck me about this was when I opened the packet, it was an overwhelmingly fishy smell. So this is made of konjac, which is a plant grown in Asia. It's high in fibre and great for your skin and hair. Also known as devil's tongue, voodoo lily, snake palm or elephant yam. Because this gives me battered cod vibes, I've served this with chips and mushy peas. It's kind of like a really soft prawn. It's not as flaky as cod, but it does kind of melt in your mouth. The breaded coating's really good and crunchy, and then underneath it you've got this really soft, melt in the mouth, juicy, succulent flesh. Why would they call this devil's tongue? It reminds me a bit more of a scampi. The flavour's good, but I think they could push it with more fishiness. It's a really good alternative, but if you go into it thinking cod, you might be disappointed. It's definitely more scampi vibes. However, that's not saying that it's not a great alternative. I'm not gonna lie, I eat this about 3 times a week. As you can see, there's no visible difference between a real fish finger and these fish fingers. I've put these fish fingers between lightly toasted bread with tartar sauce and lettuce and made a fish finger sandwich. This is my favourite midnight snack. It gets so quick to make, it's so delicious, it satisfies any hunger craving. This is orgasmic. This is my favourite fish alternative I found, just because there's something so nostalgic about a fish finger. It's flaky, the crumb is perfectly golden and crisp, it's so juicy and moist. I love it with this pappy white bread, just lightly toasted as well. No shame, every time I eat this fish finger sandwich, I am shooketh to the core at how much this is like a fish finger. Most of these products that I tried today didn't even exist 5 years ago, with a quarter of all new food products released in 2019 being plant-based. Of course, there's still a long way to go and not everything on the market is going to be super tasty straight away. But with more and more of you becoming aware of the impact that your actions have on the environment, the more likely it is the brands are going to follow suit and continue to develop plant-based options that are just as good as the real thing. Be the change that you want to see in the world. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I've inspired you to try some plant-based products.